to evade our lens, as if aware of our attempts to document its activities. Despite the lack of photographic evidence, the sheer volume and consistency of the reported events were impossible to ignore. The Hodgson children, particularly Janet, seemed to be the epicenter of the activity. It was as if the entity was drawn to them, feeding off their youthful energy. One afternoon, as we observed Janet playing in her room, a small porcelain doll suddenly levitated from the floor, hovering in midair for a few moments before crashing to the ground with a sickening thud. Janet, though visibly shaken, remained remarkably calm, as if she'd grown accustomed to such bizarre occurrences. It was during these moments that we began to suspect that Janet's connection to the entity went beyond mere proximity. Could she be a conduit, a channel through which the unseen force was manifesting itself? It was becoming increasingly clear that we were not dealing with a traditional haunting, where a restless spirit is tied to a particular location. This entity seemed to be focused on the Hodgson family, tormenting them relentlessly. Whether it was malevolent or simply mischievous, we couldn't be sure, but one thing was certain. The unseen hand that moved objects with such ease was a force to be reckoned with. As the days turned into weeks, the focus of the haunting shifted dramatically. While object movements and strange noises continued, it was Janet who became the primary target of the entity's attention. Her personality underwent a chilling transformation. Once a lively and cheerful child, she now seemed withdrawn, her eyes glazed over with a strange, distant look. At times she would lash out violently, her voice taking on a deep, guttural tone that sent shivers down our spines. It was during one of these episodes that we first heard the voice of Bill Wilkins. Speaking through Janet, the entity identified itself as a former resident of the house who had died in the living room. Bill claimed to have died in a chair, slumping over after suffering a hemorrhage. His voice, raspy and filled with malice, sent chills down our spines. We recorded hours of Janet's possessed speech, analyzing the voice patterns and inflections. Linguistic experts who later studied the recordings were baffled, unable to explain how an 11-year-old girl could produce such a deep, masculine voice. Janet's alleged possession became the most compelling and disturbing aspect of the Enfield case. During these episodes, she would contort her body in unnatural positions, levitate above her bed, and speak in tongues. We witnessed firsthand as she was thrown across the room with incredible force, as if by an invisible assailant. Medical professionals who examined Janet could find no rational explanation for her behavior. She showed no signs of epilepsy or any other known medical condition that could account for her dramatic episodes. The voice of Bill Wilkins, speaking through Janet, became a constant presence in the Hodgson household. He would taunt us mercilessly, revealing intimate details about our lives and threatening us with violence. It was a psychological battle, one that tested our resolve and left us questioning our own sanity. The line between reality and delusion became blurred. The boundaries of our understanding stretched to the breaking point. The strange events at 284 Green Street did not remain confined within the walls of the Hodgson home for long. Word of the Enfield poltergeist spread like wildfire, first through the local community and then fueled by sensational headlines across the globe. The media, hungry for a captivating story, descended upon the quiet Enfield neighborhood, transforming the Hodgson home into a veritable circus. Reporters camped out on the street, their cameras flashing incessantly, eager to capture the next unexplained event. Newspapers ran daily accounts of the haunting, often embellishing the already extraordinary tales with fabricated details. The Hodgson family, particularly Janet, became overnight celebrities, their lives thrust into the unforgiving glare of the public eye. They were interviewed on radio and television, their every word scrutinized and dissected. The public, fascinated and terrified in equal measure, devoured every scrap of information about the Enfield poltergeist. The intense media scrutiny had a profound impact on the Hodgson family. They were bombarded with requests for interviews, some genuine, others motivated by sheer sensationalism. Strangers would knock on their door at all hours, hoping to catch a glimpse of the possessed girl or witness the poltergeist's antics firsthand. The constant attention took its toll, particularly on the children, who were subjected to ridicule and disbelief from their peers. The media frenzy surrounding the Enfield case highlighted the public's insatiable appetite for the paranormal. It also exposed the often exploitative nature of media, where the pursuit of a captivating story often overshadowed the well-being of those at the center of it. The Hodgson family, thrust into the spotlight through no fault of their own, found themselves navigating a world where the lines between truth, speculation, and outright fabrication became hopelessly blurred.